more than I usually do. But then it was crap the rest of the week. I just wanted to hang with my babe.
And that's different. How?
Very different. I mean, Thursdays I like to take completely off, but never works out, does it? Trying to find. One week I just want to be a stay-at-home mom, and one week I just want to be a boss-ass bitch, you know?
You know what I'm saying?
Know what I mean?
Someone at work who's foreign always, asked me questions about, like words and stuff. And he started picking that up too. I must say that a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because like all of a sudden.
You do say it a lot?
Apparently. Because all of a sudden he'll be like, we'll be talking and then he'll look at me and he goes, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. And like, or do you know what I'm saying? And he started doing it. I'm like, I must be saying that a lot.
You must be. I don't ever. Oh, there's my coaster.
He was asking me what creepy meant the other day. I said, stop being creepy. He said, creepy? He said, what does creepy mean? He was watching his kids on the camera. They were going to school. His kids are in high school. But
that's not creepy.
I know. I was like, stop being creepy.
You're creepy. If you want to talk about creepy.
What do you mean?
All of our cameras in the house that I've unplugged because...
That's not creepy.
That is creepy.
That's exactly what he's doing. That's what I'm saying. He has one in his kitchen and he watches his kid every morning when he's getting ready. Yeah, but you
just used to watch me, your wife.
No,
this was before we had kids.
No, I didn't.
A kid.
Yeah, kid did. I didn't do it like that though.
Yes, he did.
I would randomly just check in.
Randomly. Yeah. How was your week?
Busy too.
Hey, what's your sign?
What do you mean?
Your celestial sign.
I know you know that I don't know too.
I was just trying to get you to go.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that too. I'm like, she knows I know. She knows that I don't know.
You don't know what you are though?
Mm-mm.
We're Virgos.
Sure.
Which is like the best one.
Sure. I mean, none of that matters.
You never used to like, well, I know you didn't, but like, I know, like when you're younger as a girl, the newspaper that used to have the horoscope in it. Let's look up our horoscope based off of our sign today. I don't even know how it works anymore.
It's all just, yeah.
Today, Virgo.
They probably put that through a random generator. A randomizer.
We'll see. If it says you're painting the garage today.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked.
If it says that.
Oh, do you want to do our love horoscope?
Sure.
Is it the 31st?
Yeah, it's almost the end of the month.
You may not care what the odds are, how big a gamble it is, or even about the thought of losing. Today, you are only interested in the chase. You are willing to do whatever it takes to get the person of your dreams as interested in you as you are in them, even if this involves doing or saying anything outrageous. Gay. Okay, let's see.
Beep.
Let's see.
Oh, they really nailed us. You gonna say something crazy today?
Yeah, I am.
I just keep thinking of that show too.
Below Deck.
In Below Deck, yeah.
Dude, I'm obsessed.
No, that girl. That's what. Say something crazy.
She nasty. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
She nasty.
Is she?
She's young too, like so young.
Yeah.
This is why I don't want daughters.
I thought of that too, by the way, this morning.
This is why you
when I was
don't
laying
want
in bed.
daughters.
I was like, the difference between those two women is that the big thing is one is way younger.
Age, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah. Okay, here's our like regular horoscope, I guess. This is off at L.com, so I don't know how. You're not feeling very energetic this weekend while the moon hides out in Leo in your 12th house of release and retreat. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Duck off the radar on Saturday and recharge your battery however you see fit. I would like to do that, but I can't.
That's the most vague thing. That's what everyone does on the weekend.
On Sunday, 2 other planets are making moves that could sabotage your plans to stay out of sight. In the morning...
100 trillion planets out there, yeah.
In the morning, game changer Uranus starts its early backspin, reversing through Taurus in your expansive 9th house for the next 5 months. I need a interpreter.
Yeah, what's the houses?
Ray, come here. You could take back to school season quite literally during this time, or maybe you'll suddenly revisit an entrepreneurial venture that you'd shelved and give it a new life. I'm about to shelve some adventures. That night, shadowy Pluto exits Aquarius and returns to Capricorn in your amorous 5th house. Between now and November 19th, you could finish releasing an old love from your heart. Ooh, you got an old love? Or you might discover what role you play in a drumming up personal drama. Dun, dun, dun.
No.
Instead of directly pursuing what you desire. This is the last hurrah of Pluto's 16-year stay in Capricorn, so invest in this final transformative chapter of healing. Yeah, not me.
That's just a bunch of random words.
It is. I need honestly a translator.
No, it's just, it literally is. That sounds like an AI generated like post.
It might be. Again, I just Googled horoscope. But okay, in the newspaper, they were like small. They weren't that long and they were just like small. And it's like, you're going to talk to your crush today. And I'd be like, oh.
You sure it wasn't Cosmo?
No, it was the actual newspaper, like the Tulsa World. I wonder if they're still in there.
It's crazy they paid people to do that. You know. Well, wasn't there a couple of old movies from the 90s that were like based off of that?
Ooh, I don't know.
There was.
I didn't watch them.
Yeah, you did. Because even, is it Failure to Launch? Even one of them, they're both writers or something. No, one of them, what's one of the movies? They're both writers. They're columnist writers. One of them's a sports one. Matthew McConaughey he's a sports writer.
That sounds like Failure.
But all those rom-coms are the same too.
Yeah, they are.
I'm pretty sure. I know one of them, best. Matthew McConaughey is a sports writer.
Hey, what's your favorite
How to Lose
rom-com?
a Guy in 10 Days and Failure to Launch. So How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, they're both writers. She's writing a post on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And he's a sports journalist writer. What was my favorite rom-com?
Yeah.
It changes throughout the years.
It does? So what is it this year?
I like that new one.
Oh, okay. I watched it the other day again.
I almost turned it on too.
It's just so great to like have on. It's so lighthearted. That's the kind of stuff we like for sure. Anyone But You.
Yeah.
That one with Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I really, really like that one. It's a newer one. And there are some and then when I was watching it the other day, I'm like, man, okay, it's good whether it's cheesy or not. All rom-coms are, but there are some very cheesy parts in it. And I'm like, they could have done this a little better, but it's still really good.
My long-standing one was the Ryan Reynolds one.
The Proposal?
No, but I like that too. That's not a rom-com, I wouldn't say.
That's definitely a rom-com.
No, it's not much of a comedy. They're trying to make it serious, which there's very few.
It's funny. Very much a comedy.
It is, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a traditional rom-com.
I would. Okay.
No. It's Just Friends. That's a rom-com. And that was my favorite forever.
That is funny. That's a funny one. My rom-com, is this a rom-com or just a... Well, it's probably my favorite holiday movie. What's it called? Where they swap houses. Cameron Diaz. Jack Black.
Yeah. That's not a rom-com.
Yeah, okay. That's not a rom-com. That's my favorite, like, holiday.
It's called The Holiday.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a good, right?
What's my rom-com then?
You know, it's a really underrated one that we watched this last year for a Christmas-ish movie.
What?
The Seven Feasts. Like, I can't believe I've never...
It's called something else, but yeah.
It's something Seven Feasts.
It is Seven Feasts something. There's something else to it.
Yeah. And it's like It's like 3 or 4 years old, and I'm shocked that I haven't heard more about it.
No, that was super cute.
It was.
And I told all my clients about that the moment I watched it. That one was really cute. Let's see if I can find. You might be.
Another one too that this might be weird.
Feast of the Seven Fishes. Yeah. I knew it had fishes in it.
The main actor in that, I saw him in Chicago Airport, or not Chicago, Newark Airport, getting a rental car.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago.
Yeah. He's in some other stuff too.
Yeah.
What is my favorite rom-com? Definitely Anyone But You for new ones. I had a couple of friends watch it and they loved it.
I loved Just Friends for years and years though.
Just Friends was so funny. Man, I can't think of one off the top of my head. White Chicks, is that a rom? Joking. No. I'm joking. Yeah. Oh, dude. You love your romantic comedies. You're such a romance. What am I trying to say?
You tell me.
You're like, you love.
I don't think so. No, I don't think it's that. I like a good story.
You like a good, yeah. It has to be like feel good though. You don't want to feel like, like weird.
I remember, I might have even brought this up on the podcast before, but when Juno came out, I watched that and I was like, oh, this is a good movie. And I was like, it is, whatever. And I watched it with my dad, and my dad's like, that movie was terrible. I said, what do you mean it's terrible? And he's like, teenage pregnancy happens every day. I don't need to watch it on a movie. Okay. And I was like, well,
and
I guess
I was that age.
Too.
I was like a teen. I could have very well been like, if I got pregnant, it would have been like very frowned upon when I watched it. And same thing. I was like, I remember when I first met you, you liked that movie, and that maybe that was the time around it came out. When we first met, and I'm like, am I missing something? Like when you were like, we were like talking in like a friend group or something, but I remember you saying like, and I'm like, it was so slow and like
looking back on it now, it's a little bit different. I don't know. I kind of liked it then.
I want you to go watch it now and see what you think.
Yeah. Well, even The Outsiders, I thought that was a good movie, and I guess it's a classic and a cult, especially for around here. And one of the guys from The Outsiders is actually today is going to be at the Gathering Place doing like a thing. But when my parents were in town, I put it on for my dad. I'm like, oh, this movie is dark. Like there's no happy. There's not even a happy moment in this movie.
This is what
like,
when you have no trauma in your life.
I know. You get older and you're like, whoa, this is pretty dark.
Yeah, we watched that. We obviously had to like read the book and everything at a pretty young age.
I didn't even know it existed till I moved here.
Yeah, it's very sad and depressing.
But yeah. Anyways, one of those guys is in Tulsa. The house is a museum.
Mm-hmm, I knew that. I don't even know where it's at.
North Tulsa somewhere.
Tells you how much I know about.
The guy who bought it, they said there was 2 foot of trash when they had bought it, stacked on the floor.
Dang. Yeah. So somebody lived in it after, you think?
Something. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a real house.
Right.
Yeah. Now you got me on a rant, too, because...
And I was terrible at it. And I still am terrible at writing. I'm getting better. If I'd known, I would...
What was the Korean movie that won a bunch of awards?
Ooh, that popped up the other day, and all I could think about was your friend who raved about it. A
lot of them do, and so that's the whole thing too. Like they're like, oh no, it's not about that. It's about the economical system of this and this and this, and like the tier classes and like this and this, and it's like, stop. It's not about any of that.
No, it's weird. It's creepy.
It's not even any of that either. It's just not a good movie. It's not like and I'm not saying you have to explain this to people, but it's like. You don't get to just like make a movie and be like, well, it's this. And like, no, it's whatever the person that watches it. If everyone watches it and like, I have a feeling that everyone was like, oh, this is what it's about. And then they're like, oh, that's really cool then. But like, if you just put someone on an island and watch this movie, like, yeah, that was a weird movie.
Like me?
Or anybody. That's what I'm saying. Like nobody's like, it didn't come off that well. And I just think pretentious people.
Called too? I know. It literally came up the other day.
It's like a one word thing. It's called like,
It's very strange.
It's an okay movie. It's really well done.
No, sure.
It is. It's really well shot. It's just the message that they were trying to portray. There's no way that like I said, if you were stranded on an island, you would be like, oh, that's what this director is trying to portray. You're just not.
Yeah, I don't like stuff like that. Like, just let it be what it is.
Yeah. It just kind of, it annoys me that people, like I said, it's a pretentious thing.
Unburdened by what has been.
It's called Savage or something.
No.
It's going to drive me crazy.
I know, but I don't even know what to Google.
It's a Korean movie.
You can't just Google Korean movie. It starts with an F.
Yeah. I think it is too.
Why? That's the only thing I can think of is it starts with an F.
Parasite.
And
it was like the first thing that popped up, by the way.
Really?
2019. Mm-hmm. Parasite. Yeah, it has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, you're out of your mind. Yeah, greed and class discrimination threaten the newly formed symbiotic relationship between the wealthy Park family and the destitute Kim clan. And it's like, I don't know. Say whatever you want. It's a terrible movie. The whole story is just nonsensical. It just, like, they're describing like, oh, the flood at the end portrays this, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a fantasy land. It's just like this weird.
Okay, you know another movie, and not to compare that to this, but remember when we went to the fair and then we went to see Gravity, and everybody was raving about it, but for the wrong reasons. Like, they're raving about like how well it was done, I think, versus like, I just feel like, and I can't remember now, but there's like no
plot.
Yeah.
Gravity was like, this is my thing with Gravity too. It was well done when you have two big casts, two big characters. There's no, it doesn't relate. I'm never going to, I'm not going to say I'm never going to space. Going to space or like being in space. No, I'm not going to say never. I'm just saying, like, if I go into the water, yeah, Jaws is terrifying because I go into the water. Mm-hmm. Like this whole like particles in space flying through. It's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Like you can tell me all day, but like I have no fear of it. I'm not walking out into space out my backyard. So like that whole thing is stupid. It's still a bit unbelievable how she even like makes it to that other spaceship and like lands on Earth. Like, I think that's a bit, it's unbelievable to begin with. But like I said, the fear and all that is just like not there. So you're just watching it and like, you're just kind of waiting for this to start the movie. And then like, it never started. And then like she ends and like she lands. I'm like, wait, what was this movie about?
Yeah.
Like her getting back to Earth. Like, and yeah, the whole thing of like, was it George Clooney, I think? But
I thought it was Matthew McConaughey.
It's definitely not Matthew McConaughey. Okay. It's George Clooney, and he's like a ghost in it. And that's another thing, too. I think that's the other part of it is like, I think he's not really there, if I remember. Like, that's all in her head. Yeah, who's in it?
Right. George Clooney. Ed Harris, Mark Sanger.
It's Sandra Bullock and George Clooney.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just... It's well done, you know, it's shot well, and the acting is good. You can't, but it's just the idea that, like, again, you're just kind of like, what is this movie? Like, I guess, I mean, we're over here talking about rom-coms and
I know
stuff. Okay, I have to defend myself. I love, like, good movies. Like, I watch all the old,
you don't
like,
have to defend anything.
No, because I was just praising these stupid movies, and I'm bashing, like, these
critically.
You know, yeah, exactly. These, yeah, no, I like good old movies. Like, some of my favorite movies are old timey. I'm trying to like think of like.
You like good movies. You don't have to think. Oh, brother, where art thou?
No,
I'm joking.
No.
I'm just.
I'm not bashing that movie either. But
we just watched.
Oh, brother, where art thou is the same thing too. Like, that's got a whole deep meaning. It's all
my
biblical.
Dad loved
yeah,
that
it's
movie.
all biblical though, right? Like, it's like the story of the giant, the story about. Anyways. No, like, but I love like old, like Casablanca and like old school movies. Like, I do love
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah, I like all the old Audrey Hepburn movies.
Love Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah. Golden Falcon and like How to Steal a Million.
No, don't take and I'm the same with music. I know I'm not saying what I like is good.
Your music is bad too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't take my music or movie recommendations. I like it to make me, like, I like to feel good. I don't like to feel weird. I don't like to think a lot when I'm watching a movie. Like, I just want to relax and just, like, watch a movie and just, and that's why rom-coms probably are my favorite, like, genre.
I don't like movies where they're like, it seems like they're trying too hard to have a hidden meaning.
Yeah.
And I just like, to me, that just because, like, you've written this all out to be like, oh, we're going to have like, this is all this deep meaning behind it. And it's like, yeah, but you have to execute it in a way where it's like the movie's still good. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I just feel like I said, it's just a lot of people are like, it's just a pretentious thing of like, they're like, well, you just don't understand. I'm like,
whew, you're long-winded.
Yeah, no, sorry. There's a lot of really good movies that also have meaning.
Yes. You don't have to defend yourself, my love. Okay, let's get into it. Overrated and underrated. We're doing a supplement edition. Supplements are one of the most asked questions, I think, in the health and fitness, because people, they want to make their health and fitness journey easier. Everybody does. I totally get it.
GLP little one.
Oh, you're asking me? That's a good one. Maybe I did put that on here. No, I didn't. GLP-1, overrated or underrated, it really depends. I think if you're trying to lose your last 10 to 15 pounds, overrated. But I think if it's something, if you have a lot of weight to lose and it's something to get the ball rolling and it'll get that motivation going, sure, but just do your research and just know the maybe long-term effects.
You want to tell people what that is?
Like Ozempic, Wegovy. Yeah. Most people know even GLP-1.
Okay,
but yeah, so it depends on that
sustainability.
Yeah. And it is, when you have a drug like that, any kind of pharmaceutical drug, they want to make money off of it. They want you on it long term. So there is no end goal for that. Most people will just prescribe it the moment you get off. If you don't change your diet and lifestyle habits, you most likely will gain the weight back. So
I follow a lot of stock companies, just pharmaceuticals. Anyways, one of them, I think it's Johnson & Johnson. They just came out with a half the price of Ozempic. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But as far as I know, Ozempic's really expensive.
Very expensive.
It's like hundreds of dollars a month.
You're talking, I think the cheapest was like $480 for one of my clients.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think it was close to $500 a month.
That's the like insurance covered a little bit even. So
if you're diabetic, they do.
Well, yeah, if you're diabetic, that's a whole different reason to.
But yeah, they came out with half the price anyways. That doesn't matter. But
that's yeah. Anyway, they do want you to be on it long term. So you are right with sustainability, like.
Well, you have to. It's just. I
think it could be a good tool. Like I said, if you have a lot of weight to lose and you are serious about making lifestyle changes as well, and also with Ozempic, you can lose a lot of muscle if you're not eating enough protein and weight training. So I highly recommend doing those two things alongside of it. Okay, BCAAs, branch chain amino acids.
Don't even get me started.
Really?
Yeah.
So
it drives me
definitely
nuts.
Overrated.
No, here's the thing with BC. It's when you buy them separately, it's a joke. To me,
they're expensive too.
Correct. It's a joke. Well, okay. So every single animal protein is a complete protein, which has all the BCAAs in it. So you're buying, and then if you're supplementing, like even a whey protein has all the BCAAs in it. So it's like, and I guess when I was young, I was like, oh, BCAAs, this is what helps. And it's like, yeah, but so does every protein.
Some people make the argument, coaches,
that you need extra on.
That you drink them while you're working out. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I've heard that too. And I think the idea of drinking a protein shake while working out.
Not a protein shake.
Yeah,
but
I get it. We used to do it too, is take but again, so it would be the same thing. So the argument is that there is a lot of coaches that also like pro bodybuilders that are like drinking protein while working out. And I'm just saying, like, a sidestep, I started working out in the mornings almost a year ago. And but I was just thinking this yesterday morning after my workout, is that I'm kind of back up to my strength of before all this. And I was thinking that I used to talk so much crap on people who did morning workouts. So there's no way, because you don't have any like fuel, you know what I mean? Your body has nothing to run off of. And I was like, there's just no way you can get a good workout in. I think you can train your body. And again, if you're not like a pro athlete, like an Olympian, I don't think it matters that much. And it's the same thing with drinking protein while you're working out. Like, you're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need.
So with BC, with branched chain aminos, if you have the money and you want to do it, then fine. But I don't think.
No.
I think there are better things you can spend your money on supplement wise that make a bigger impact. I just think they're just expensive for what they are. Again, you get them in your food and your.
It's literally branched chain amino acids, and every single one of those branched chain amino acids are in a piece of chicken.
Yes.
Complete, like the rest of them. So that was there 32?
BCAAs, overrated. I don't know.
It's not that they're overrated. It's just supplementing.
There's 9 essential ones, but I don't know if there's 32.
Maybe I made that up. Anyways, all animal protein is complete protein, and it has all of them in it. So
the next one is whey protein, which I
don't think it's under or overrated. I think it's
depends.
No, I think it's very well rated as far as. I always say this. So there's a time and a place for protein powder. If you're a skinny, small guy, a small person who's trying to like gain weight, don't ever get whey protein. Just eat protein, because that's where you're going to get your calories from. It's already difficult to get in enough calories as it is. The reason you take a whey protein or any type of, I don't want to say just whey. Are you talking about just whey, or do you have other animal, like pea protein on there?
I just have whey protein, but I didn't.
Anyways, not the same kind of, but like if you're traveling, whey protein's great. If you're trying to cut calories, whey protein's great. It's still just like the way that they take whey and they cut it. Because I've heard this stupid story too, like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. Like, there's no lactose in whey protein. It's gone, because they strip it, and essentially they break that down, and they have to cut it with like acid and stuff. It's definitely highly processed, but.
Bitch, we just want to know if it's over.
I don't think it's over or under. I think it's very well rated. Yeah.
So like you said, if you're trying to put on muscle mass, probably don't need it. You need to eat like full meals.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And then if you're trying to lose weight, pull up.
I think it's always better to just eat the calories anyways, and eat
for sure. Foods, so. And I pick whole foods over any supplements any day, but there is a time and a place. And especially being busy, whey protein, shakes come in handy. Magnesium, which we already talked about this one in depth, so we'll just go over it. Very underrated. Yeah,
which one though? I always forget. So many people use the other one for
citrate for pooping.
And I think that's like overrated.
Yeah. I wouldn't rely on something to go poop every day.
Correct.
So
that one kind of annoys me.
I'm talking about magnesium glycinate, magnesium L-threonate, L-threonate. I think it is. Oh my God, I can't remember. And then there's another one, but we have the triple complex thing. So we have like glycinate. Glycinate's for sleeping. L-threonate is brain health. And then you have like your bone health and stuff. And then the citrate is for pooping. So yes, I'm talking about like really, if I had to choose one, glycinate is the main one I would choose. Underrated.
Super underrated.
And we already talked about that on another podcast. Fat burners. Do you remember fat burner?
Yeah, I was just going to say that too. I knew so many people who took them. It's like so many flashbacks from high school. Yeah.
When I was writing this, I was like, I had a flashback of me being on the treadmill, and like my body was so hot. Like it makes you like have hot flashes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It just makes you like sweat more.
I just knew like several people who like didn't work out, who were like 100 and like I knew a couple of guys who were like taking fat burners, like, oh, so-and-so takes a fat burner. I'm like, oh, they're 120 pounds. And like, well, that's why though. And like, they're just trying to stay like, it was weird. Fat burners were real weird.
They are very weird. Very overrated. They like they do something and like make your body hotter and make you sweat more. And that's why they're a fat burner, which I do not like that feeling. Everybody goes through that phase though, I feel like, but I'm here to tell you don't have to.
I didn't.
No, you were never trying to burn fat. Omega-3s.
Underrated, I'd say, but
Very underrated. Very, very. Brain health. Brain health for me, too. And, you know, a lot of people take omega-3s for, like, heart and joints. But there's lots of studies about how it helps with brain health.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, even when you're pregnant, they tell you brain development for your baby. Yeah. So, highly recommend.
There's a whole ratio with omega-3 and omega-6, by the way, too.
There is.
It's Americans have like a really high.
We have a 20-to-1 omega-6
6-to-1, right? And it's not
which
supposed to
is
be.
more inflammatory. Yep. You want. This is crazy. You want like a 2-to-1. Mm-hmm. That's the perfect ratio.
America has one of the worst ratios for omega-6 to omega-3.
I think Japan has because they have all the fish and no, it's crazy. You want to balance that out and so it's less inflammatory on your body. So omega-3s helps eating fish a couple times a week, like up to 3 times a week, which I do not do because I still can't eat it while I'm pregnant pregnant. Can't eat it since I was pregnant because I had salmon. Yeah, so I think omegas and magnesium take every day for sure. Creatine.
Man, I don't know why it's so controversial. I don't know why. I don't know what made that controversial. Why people...
It's because I know why. It's because it can't be
it's cheap.
It's cheap and it can't be like
patented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but none of these things can.
No, I'm pretty sure there's something like that. I don't know the actual wording for it.
It's one of the longest studied supplements on the market.
No, I legit got in an argument with one of my professors in college.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And she called me on ever since then. She hated me because I'm like, she's like, yeah, it's just so bad on your kidneys.
Yeah. Like Tylenol and aspirin and ibuprofen doesn't do the same thing.
Right.
That's what you'll hear too. It's always that it's better on your kidney. So is every pill that you take and everything that you take.
I will say I asked my doctor if I could take it while I was pregnant. And she told me, well, it's better to be safe than sorry, which is just covering their asses. But I'm a little annoyed. I thought about it. And I'm like, creatine's in meat. You eat meat while you're pregnant. There's nothing else. It's just creatine, the supplement. That's what you should be looking for when you're buying it. I would say for men, creatine is very well rated. But I would say for women, a lot of women are scared to take it. It's very, very underrated.
People think it's a bulk thing.
They do. And I did when I first started as well. I thought oh my gosh, no. But again, there are lots of studies coming out about how creatine helps the brain and helps memory.
Yep.
Which I need.
Yeah, so actually there's a study on creatine where being sleep deprived and it helps with brain function while you're sleep deprived. So if you are in a state of having less sleep, creatine actually helps brain function when it comes to.
Do you know the dose, how much to take? How much?
A teaspoon, I think.
And you should start off with, because I never started off with the full. I worked up.
Well, that was the thing back in the day. You're supposed to load it, but that's all. You don't have to do that anymore.
You can just go straight into a full teaspoon.
Yeah, it's stored in your muscles, creatine is. So people always ask that too, when do you take creatine? Same thing, it doesn't matter because again, it's all stored in the muscles.
As long as you're taking it consistently every day.
Yep.
No, it is. It's such a controversial, but I think it's a money thing.
Such a weird...
It's because it's not like...
I think it's because it's stored in red meat that it's a controversial thing.
Maybe.
Personally. I think it's just an attack on all that. But.
Yeah. Creatine. I always share posts though that are, creatine positive. So definitely that's another one I take every day. I get asked this question actually quite often, which still shocks me because pre-workout, over or under?
I think it's 1,000,000 times overrated.
1,000,000 bazillion gajillion.
I think it drives me crazy, honestly. I think people think they need it, but again, everyone I work with, they're taking 3 energy drinks a day. I do, expense reports and all those guys buy 5-hour energies every day. And it's they expense them too, which annoys me.
Cut.
I can say that.
I don't think you can.
Why can't I? I'm not telling names. Anyways, this is the whole thing of people think they need all this stuff to as we're drinking coffee here, but.
Well, doing that, that's really bad on your adrenal glands.
No, I just think
your nervous system.
I'll tell you this, and maybe I'm nuts, but like, so I get up at 5 a.m. to go work out, and I literally...
You raw dog it.
Yeah, like I'll go work out, I'll shower at gym, drive to work, eat my breakfast, and then drink my coffee.
Which is good.
Yeah, I'm not saying whatever, but it's like, I don't take anything. Like, I think people get reliant on all that stuff.
I wake up and I inject it right into my veins.
Yeah, your coffee. Yeah. I think people get reliant on all that stuff.
Yeah. Pre-workout is the reason. Okay. And here's my big thing. I think you were out of town. This was when we lived in the when we rented a house. I took it and it literally, I had stomach pain so bad. I was in the fetal position on the bathroom floor and I was like, okay, I'll never do that again.
Well, this is the other part of all that pre-workouts is that none of them are FDA tested because they're dietary supplements and they only look into them if there's a problem. And like, if like a person like me who's been around that scene for 20 years now, you just look at how many of them have been pulled. It's like every one of them. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was one called Black Magic when we were young in high school. Oh my God,
those are the craziest ones.
And like, I remember my roommate was like, my heart was racing at 3 a.m. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and again, they pulled that one from, and it's like, we were all just guinea pigs for like, anyways, the pre-workout's supposed to just open up the blood vessels and allow more blood flow and stuff. That's what they say, but it's like, yeah, it's and it might do that.
Loaded with massive amounts of caffeine.
Yeah, well, and caffeine is restrictor too, and that's
right.
So I don't know. Because my boss said that too. He's like, I just use regular black coffee as a pre-workout, but it's like, yeah, but so that also restricts too. Like it makes your blood.
When you're talking about not like being a major. Because I used to think that too. Like I can't drink caffeine, but you can. Yeah. Coffee. I do coffee as well. Why don't you tell them about your Red Bull story?
No, I'm not telling on here.
Yes.
I haven't had an energy drink since then.
Yeah.
It was probably 5 years
Matt almost
ago.
died. I think you can spread awareness to how you almost died.
Don't continually drink energy drinks like that.
I don't know why you thought it was okay to drink 3.
Because you just think that they're just, I guess these are over-the-counter things. So it's like, you just don't think that, they're that harmful.
We were driving to Michigan and we used to drive overnights.
And we bought like a 4-pack. Because I think that's what Red Bull's come in 4 packs. I don't even like Red Bull. I don't either, but I was just trying to stay awake. So I'm just sipping on them because that's another thing too. So you're just sitting in the car bored. So you just sip, sip, sip. And Red Bulls are tiny.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to you just casually, every time we stop, just. But anyways, yeah.
What happened? You almost went blind.
I lost my vision.
Yeah.
It was like 6 a.m. We were a couple hours from my parents' house. And like my vision started to literally get like fuzzy. And it was like just going out. And I had to pull over on the side of the road.
And do what?
This is 6 a.m. traffic. And it was like a weekday. It must have been like a Friday. So whatever it was. It was like rush hour traffic. And we were like south side of Chicago. And I had to pull over and literally, and this is crazy. Your mom was with us on this trip. We've never taken anyone. The one time we had to take someone. So I had to get out. I just did a wall sit on the front of the car. And I went to the bathroom. And it all went away. It was just like a rush of just like.
Yeah.
Like everything like exited my body.
He shit.
And like everything came back to me. It was like
I wasn't as scared as I probably should have been.
Me too.
But looking back now, I'm like,
yeah, me too.
Like young people are literally having heart attacks from overconsumption of energy drinks.
I don't remember my heart or anything like that. I just remember like I literally was losing my vision.
That's insane. And yeah, you haven't had an energy drink since, and that's been
I realized
years.
I realized I'm like, oh, like this is really bad for you, like, but
yeah, no, that's insane, and it is. It makes me cringe. Anyway, yes, that's our Red Bull story. Greens powders, like, what do you think?
I don't know what I think.
I think overrated because. Again, I'm always going to be for whole foods. I don't think that...
Yeah, but you're never going to get the amount like you can in a greens powder. But I also think
But
that
do
too.
you get that amount too? It's the same thing. Like, how do you know?
And I also think
And they're
like,
also expensive.
you'll probably ship most of it out too.
Yeah.
I really do think like, because people are like, well, I mean, and they've said this for years. Doctors are like, just eat a well-balanced diet. And like, nobody's eating a well-balanced diet.
Agreed.
But
maybe where more like a multivitamin should come in. I don't know. Because that's what you're getting out of your vegetables and fruits anyway, are the micronutrients and the vitamins.
I also think
And
like just
carbs.
bioavailability of like all those things and just, I just think like a lot of stuff that you take, you just shit out most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even with like, go back to like protein powder, like you could be taking 55 grams, 2 scoops. You're probably not going to actually absorb all that. You're probably going to dump a lot of it out. You can only take in so much, or not even so much, but like the bioavailability of like, that's another whole podcast topic of like, if the label says this, what your actually body can actually process and take in. It's not what you think it is.
Okay. What about go off king electrolyte powders like Liquid IV?
Same thing. I don't know if they're overrated or underrated. I think they're somewhat overrated. I think I don't think you need those either. I think if you eat the right things.
No, I don't think you necessarily need to like go buy a Liquid IV. Like you could put some really good salt in your water, a little magnesium powder, which is going to be way more cost effective. But you definitely do need electrolytes. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're right.
Right.
But again, it's very easy and cheap to do it another way.
It is. But we buy because it's just it is convenient.
Yeah, we're lazy.
Yeah. It is. I haven't found like my own recipe yet that I can like put together real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have on my list. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't know. I'm sure there's a million supplements out there.
Well, yeah, but I'm like talking what most people gravitate towards, like the most common ones. Okay, well, that's all we have for you all today. We're very on target today.
Brought to you by coffee.
Like, subscribe, comment if we missed something that you want to know about, and I'll answer in the comments whether I think it's over or underrated and why.
Yeah, I'll rant about it.
Matt can rant all day long. I had to pull you back in a little bit.
Give me a topic, I'll rant.
Thanks so much for being here. Have a great freaking day.